So, onward then to the dining hall. Let's see. I think I want to keep walking because if I head back, I'm pretty sure that'll go to Lynx's room. Continuing on through the passage, we eventually come back to the branch. And we want to take the stairs, of course. I follow Kid up the narrow set of stairs, hoping not to lose my balance and tumble backwards into McGill. I'm not sure he'd catch me. We ascend the staircase, and in front of us paths extend in 3 directions. To the left lies a dark corridor, and the right path leads out to the terrace. Okay, so we've checked the study. I haven't checked the terrace, but I don't think we would find it out there. We continue through the passageway. After a while, we arrive at a beautifully decorated set of double doors. This is the ballroom. Maybe it'll be like hanging under one of the paintings or something. Pushing her way through the massive doors, Kid steps into the huge hall. No one's ear still. With a countless number of candles illuminating the room, everything flickers and sways in the light. There are many large portraits, of course, all staring down at us. Yes, and that one stares at us. They are strange. I suggest we look elsewhere, McGill says suddenly. Okay, there's 2 rooms that I haven't checked. I haven't checked the trap room. I think there's 2. I haven't checked the trap room, which is fairly self-evident. And I haven't checked the old hag room. After a bit of walking, we come to a 3-way split in the path. To the right is a set of stairs leading down, and we've searched everywhere down there. We haven't checked the terrace either. You know what? While we're out here, let's head to the terrace. We'll talk to our teammates. It's been a long time since we've done that. Take a deep breath of fresh evening air. I can feel my nerves loosening already. Let's see. Go out to the terrace. I don't think nerves loosening was the correct saying. We walk quietly out onto the terrace, instantly welcomed by a cold nighttime breeze. The dreary forest we came through lies directly ahead. Let's talk with Kid. Seems we got ourselves into a bit of mess here, eh, Serge? Better get our arses in gear. Yeah. To tell you the truth, I can't think of anything better to say. Hopelessly lost in her eyes once again. I hope she doesn't notice I can't take my eyes off of her. Man, she's so strong. Why can't I be more like her? We should head back inside. The sun will be up soon, McGill adds. Yeah, really. Come on, mate. Time to go. Okay, we'll just head back in then. I don't think McGill is going to have anything different to say either, but of course, because I didn't talk to him. That'll be the one thing that I missed. Passages, wherever we turn, darkness. Go right. We make our way down the dimly lit passageway. After a few moments, we come to an old, dusty door on the right. This is the storeroom, the old hag room. Hello, old hag. Are you in here waiting for us? Maybe she knows? I need healing anyways. The room is quiet, except for the sounds of the gears, and there's no sign of the hooded lady anywhere. What? We rush over towards the sword, looking down at it. McGill starts to speak. That is right. This is the only sword that we have found throughout the entire game, and I completely forgot about it. Looking down at it, McGill starts to speak. I think I found this in the first video, maybe? I don't know. This may be what we're looking for. By the looks of it, this sword could be the fabled holy Einlanzer, or perhaps the demonic Masamune. Wow, McGill. You know about the Masamune? Silence. Did you ever know its owner? Yes. Was he ever your mate? More silence. So he was one of your enemies then? Confounded. No. Well, hey, Sag. Take this thing. Huh? Come on. You don't expect a fair maiden like me to carry this bulky thing all over the place, do you? Well, let's just pick it up. I grit my teeth and remind myself it would get me absolutely nowhere to argue with her, and possibly even a punch. So I go to Kid's side and pick up the sword, just as I was told to. Oof. Jeez, it's heavy. Okay, let's get our arses to that bloody torture chamber. I can almost smell the frozen flame from here. I follow Kid out of the room, dragging the heavy sword. From here, the passageway stretches to the right and left. I want to know what good is this sword going to do? Pretty sure we want to go to the right. Proceeding ahead on the path, we come to a staircase going up, and those firm-looking doors that we already broke through once. Okay, in we go. Oh wait, this is the treasure room? Oh, jeez, I knew it was the treasure room. To the staircase then. With Kid in the lead, we ascend the narrow staircase. I nearly slip and fall on one of the damp stairs. Bracing myself against the cold walls, I keep climbing. We come to those old stoic-looking doors, waiting for us silently atop the staircase. Okay, this is it. The door looks just as sturdy as last time. I look up, remembering the deadly ceiling. I'm definitely not going to repeat the mistake of overstaying my welcome here, especially after hearing what Riddell had to say. Somewhere inside this room there has to be something that will bring that old man back. But what? Just as I thought, McGill says dryly, examining the cracks in the floor. Kid and I walk over, kneeling down where he's at. Between the cracks of the floor's stones, there's a thick, smelly, butter-like substance that's been jammed into it, among the stains of blood. Oh boy. Without warning, the door suddenly slams shut. It started again. Okay, what do we do? Probably get perforated again. Oh boy. We have to use the sword somehow, Kid yells, her voice almost inaudible thanks to the ceiling's deafening screeching. But how? Thrust it into the ceiling, thrust it into the floor, thrust the sword into Kid. Let's relive, Dion's moment. With as much power as I can muster, I lift the heavy sword up and plunge it down into a crack in the center of the floor. A huge jolt runs through the room. Bolts of light scatter in all four directions from the sword, running along the floor, then up the walls. Reaching the ceiling, the deadly contraption groans and then comes to a halt. The Masamune was capable of splitting a mountain when stabbed into the ground. Exhausted and relieved, I collapsed to the floor. Or so I've heard. It's just rumors, right? Just a fairy tale. After a minute, I catch my breath and open my eyes. Strange. Now that I take another look at the inscription we found earlier, there's a certain stone just beside it that doesn't seem to have any cement around it. We walk over to it. Kid tugs on it and finds that it's loose. Removing the heavy stone, a dim, glistening light can be seen from within the hole. Kid reaches in and carefully removes the shimmering object. A beautifully decorated gold ring sets in the palm of her hand. It's adorned with a slender set of leaves, like those of a fern, decorated with 5 small rubies around it. The Acacian coat of arms, McGill says. Kid tries the ring on, but strangely enough, it doesn't seem to fit on any of her fingers. This ring must mean something to the old man. We could use it to break through his wall, couldn't we? I excitedly ask McGill, already knowing the answer. He nods in silence. Yeah, this has to be it. Abandoning the Einlanzer, now proudly standing upright like a beacon of light amidst this dismal room, we hurry out of the torture chamber, hopefully never to return again. I hope so too. We descend the stairs. There's the treasure room. Let's just go to the terrace. Come here, terrace. Cool evening air. Proceed on. All of a sudden, a chilly wind blows past me. Not only that, but also a thick fog has started to accumulate all around us. We're in trouble again. It swirls around us faster and faster, and after a few moments it coagulates before me, forming into some sort of humanoid shape. It's a poltergeist. Don't move. Oh boy. Kid's whispering does nothing but add to my increasing feelings of fear and dread. How are we supposed to fight something that doesn't even have a body? From beside me, a low voice starts to echo throughout the dim hallway. It's McGill. He seems to be starting some sort of incantation, but what am I gonna do? Hide behind McGill like a baby. I run and hide behind McGill, but this only seems to draw the poltergeist's attention. It blows a gust of wind in my direction, and suddenly I find myself hurling through the air, crashing into a nearby wall a moment later. I'm starting to feel lightheaded. Suddenly, I feel incredibly tired. I open my eyes only to see that there's a chilly fog all around me. It must be starting to drain my life force. I've got to stop it before it sucks me dry. I try to dissipate the fog by waving my arms around, but it doesn't seem to be doing anything. Getting so tired. It feels as though I'm sinking deeper and deeper into an icy tomb as I continue to get sleepier and sleepier. So cold. A moment later, I feel the warm grip of McGill's hand seize the back of my neck. He begins to chant, and a soft blue light surrounds my field of vision. His words reverberate in my head, and the fog vanishes. I think that's what it said. Serge! Hey, Serge! You still with us? I hear as I realize someone's slapping me again and again. Kid! Dazed, I stumble back to my feet. All of this magic is making me dizzy. I had to counter the poltergeist's attack directly through your body, Serge, McGill says. You will survive. Come on, what are we waiting around for? Kid stammers blankly. Kneeling down, I rest for a minute to tend my wounds. No whining. You're not that bad, mate. I've seen worse hangovers than how you look right now. I wish I had her determination. After I finish applying my bandages, I get up, hoping I'll be okay. It's too early to give up. And of course, she taunts me. You got a thing or two to learn, but you're getting there, mate. Kid's mischievous eyes sparkle as I glance at her for a moment in the dim moonlight. I set off down the corridor with her, ready to die next time I get hurt. After a while, the path splits into 3 directions. Oh boy, take the stairs, proceed ahead to the ballroom, no. Not to the study, to the stairs we go. Those moist, nasty walls. Through the archway we go. Yep, let's get out of here. And to the catacombs. Just ahead of me I bump into Kid, who's come to a complete stop. Something's wrong, mate. I stop my breath, trying to listen for anything. Then, out of the darkness, clunk, clunk, clunk. Something's ahead of us on the path. Whatever it is, it's coming straight for us. I nervously unsheath my knife, trying to ignore my anxiety. And it's another skeleton. Lovely. Quick, what do we do? Let's look for a weak spot. The skeleton takes a step forward with its sword in hand. Just as McGill begins to move in on it, it raises its arms overhead, staring at him with a strange look in its eyes. McGill suddenly stops dead in his tracks. McGill, snap out of it! I shout, but his eyes are totally glazed over again, completely unaware of the situation. We'll attack this time. We bolt towards it, avoiding the deadly slash with a perfectly timed flip. Our kick on the rebound hits him directly in the midsection, severing him in half. We land on the skull and crunch it into 1,000 pieces. Good Lord, McGill. What was up with you back there? Back there. What was up with you back there? Kid shouts at McGill, her eyes firmly planted on him. Snap out of it already. McGill blinks a few times, dazed. He seems to be all right now. I think I make that accent even worse the longer I record. Kneeling down, I rest for a minute to tend to my wounds. Hey, no whining. You're not that bad, mate. I've seen worse hangovers than how you look right now. Yeah, quit dreaming over her, Serge. Every time we catch our breath. Wait a sec. What's that? I bend down and pick up a small leather sack. Looking inside, I find a small bottle filled with a clear liquid. Well, go on, mate. You found it. You drank it. I hesitantly gulp the potion. Oh, wow. I feel great. It's making my wounds heal as fast as lightning. Yes. Want some, kid? Oh, sorry. It's all gone. Greedy pig. That's nice. I wonder if that was scripted in there or if you can randomly find healing items too. After a bit of walking, we come to an old-looking door with a brass handle. No matter how many times I return here, I don't think I'll ever get any more used to this place. In we go. We return to the old man. McGill walks up to the cell and grasps the iron bars. He positions his feet and starts to pull away at the bars with an incredible intensity. After a moment, the bars start to bend like taffy. McGill enters first through the newly created opening. Kid follows, kneeling down before the mumbling old man. Putting her hands on the old man's shoulders, Kid tries to look into his eyes, but he continues to stare at the floor. Frustrated, she starts to shout at him, shaking him vigorously. Come on, old fella, get up. The old man's head shakes back and forth like a rag doll's, but his eyes remain averted. Let's just try to stop her. I come between Kid and the old man. Kid looks at me with straightforward eyes. Don't get in the way, Sage. Kid, look at him, I say. Being agitated is the last thing he needs right now. Humph. After I'm done with him, this old geezer's gonna be brimming with old stories. As Kid shifts her weight onto her other knee, suddenly the Acacian ring falls out of her pocket. It falls down to the ground, bouncing once, twice, 3 times, and comes to a stop right before the old man's eyes. Trying to get Kid to calm down, I signal for her to look over to the man, who's now smiling faintly. "The ring?" he says in a voice so quiet it's barely audible. However, his eyes quickly return to their murky state. "Finally, my allies, you have returned. Because of me, the frozen flame was seized, and I have desecrated the name of the Acacia Dragoons. I am the only one left, but you have returned. Merkid, Zorander, now that we are once again reunited, let us all head back to Stike Lake." "Jeez, listen, mister. The frozen flame. Where is it? Any small hint will help. Come on." "Frozen flame?" the old man asks. A warm smile streaks across his face. "Ah, my dear Miss Riddell, I have not seen you in quite some time. Surely you have not forgotten the secret entranceway." "Oh, yeah. You think you could tell me about that again, Gramps?" Kid asks, trying to sound as ladylike as possible. "In the ballroom. 3rd candlestick on the left." Kid hugs the old man ecstatic, and so he resumes his mumbling in that distant, shuddering voice. "Please forgive me for your father. I beg you, Riddell. The Dragoons." "It's high time for you to bust out of here, old man," Kid says, pointing to the bent iron bars. However, he once again refuses to look up. "Come on. We've done all we can do here. He's got to walk through these bars himself. Thanks, old-timer." He never will. Heading away from the catacombs, we eventually come to a split. Turning right heads back to the atrium, while proceeding straight through will take us to a downward staircase. I think we want to go to the right. All I can see is darkness as I bump into Kid. I can hear a clattering noise. What is it? It's goblins. It's the sound of iron armor, and maybe this time I can actually kill these things without getting hurt. Grip my knife and stand ready. Yum, yum, yum. Slurp down some lemonade there, exchanging glances with Kid. She seems to be ready for anything. "Don't get ahead of yourself, mate," she says with an ornery smile. "Okay, let's do this." Some words I think I'd pronounce with an accent a little bit okay. Other words, holy crap. It's like a redneck Cockney accent. It's horrible. The goblins amount to 5 in all, and of course, probably better not fast forward through this. And yes, they're laughing at us, grinning, as they realize who they've bumped into. The people who've been troublemaking all night long. I leap back from the iron ball, and it smashes into the floor, sparks showering the hallway. Yeah. Run my knife into his chest, slash its hand. We cut the unprotected flesh. Blood sprays in the goblin's face. It recoils in pain. And the Morning Star drops to the ground. Let's snatch the mace. I throw the knife as hard as I can, but the goblin easily knocks it out of the way with the back of its massive hand. However, with the diversion I've bought for myself, I quickly scramble around behind it, snatching its mace. Realizing something's going on, the goblin instantly turns around, where it meets a solid blow from my mace. Ugh. What's left of the goblin falls to the floor, lifeless. Oh yeah. Looking around at the victory before me, I let out a sigh of relief. So you got one, eh, mate? That showed him. Look at the size of that bloke. I wanted to say something back, but I'm so tired. I just stand there ready for anything. So finally, a flawless goblin fight. Oh. You okay, mate? Yeah, I'm not bad. I've got some bruises here and there, but nothing too serious. You? Aw, are you kidding? I kicked that thing's arse so bad it didn't even have time to say its prayers. Yeah, we did kick butt. And get lost in those baby blues one more time. Wait a sec. What's that? It's another healing potion. I don't need it though. We give it to Kid and she drinks it. Thankful that we were already at maximum hit points. Okay, I think I'm going to end the video whenever we get back to the ballroom. We return to the Dead Fish Atrium. Another archway again, of course, greets us. And, yeah, let's take it. Take the stairs, that should take us up. Yep. And let's go to the ballroom. Third candlestick on the left, right? We continue through the passage, and after a while we arrive at a beautifully decorated set of double doors. This is the ballroom, and we will find out what we're going to do in here whenever we return. Oh yes, cliffhangers.